everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Let's dive right back into the story. To solve the mystery in his heart, the Hua made a special trip to the 10-mile peach blossom forest to find Qian. He had so many questions. He needed to know about Bai Qian's eye condition and what exactly happened during the 300 years she was asleep. If Bai Qian was really his Susu, why did she have no memory of him at all? Qian, wise as he is, had a strong suspicion that the Hua was the very man Bai Qian wanted to forget after her love tribulation. But he chose not to reveal this to the Hua. Instead, Qian cleverly changed the subject. He looked at the Hua and asked something he always wondered. Why have you only ever worn black clothes? Ever since you were a child? The Hua gave a small, melancholic smile. His reply was heartbreaking. He explained that if he were ever seriously injured, with blood everywhere, the black robes would hide it. His enemies wouldn't get the satisfaction of seeing him bleed, and his loved ones wouldn't worry and feel sad for him. Hearing this, Qian's heart ached. The world sees the crown prince, the Hua, basking in supreme glory, but no one knows the immense pressure and bitterness he carries alone. Meanwhile, Bai Qian found herself in a bit of a pickle.
She had lost the enchanted branch Mugu had given her to light the way.
The night was pitch black, and she knew she couldn't find her way back to the east, see Crystal Palace. She definitely didn't want to run into the Hua and his son again. She joked to herself that she'd truly end up becoming a stepmother if she did. Lost in the dark and her own thoughts, she stumbled and carelessly fell into a cave. As her feet hit the ground, she realized she wasn't alone. There was someone else in the cave, a man. Startled, Bai Qian's first thought was that she had interrupted a private, intimate moment. Mortified, she tried to sneak away quietly. But it was too late. The person on the bed had already spotted her and excitedly got up, moving towards her. As he stepped into the faint light, Bai Qian got a clear look at his face. Her eyes widened in disbelief. It was none other than the current Wing Lord, Li Jing. The moment Li Jing saw her, his eyes filled with a deep, longing affection that had been bottled up for centuries. "Again," he breathed, his voice thick with emotion. But Bai Qian's expression was solemn and distant. She corrected him firmly. "I have long since severed all ties with you. The name Ayin is no longer appropriate."
Look closely. I am Bai Qian of Qingqiu. According to proper etiquette, the Wing Lord should address me as aunt. She didn't stop there.
Bai Qian told him frankly, "The day you chose Juan Nu, it must have been because you admired her for who she was. Not just because her face resembled mine. We are no longer entangled. We should both let go of the past." Feeling that running into Li Jing was a stroke of incredibly bad luck, Bai Qian gave a quick, formal bow and turned to leave, wanting nothing more than to put this encounter behind her. What a series of unfortunate events for Bai Qian! And what a heart-wrenching revelation from the Hua. What will happen next? Li Jing was still calling out a yin behind her, and Bai Qian sighed inwardly, thinking that there was no longer any yin in this world. The Hua returned to the heavenly palace with a white silk ribbon that Bai Qian had dropped in the East C7. When the soul-binding lamp burned Susu's clothes, it burned with azure flames. The Hua suppressed his unease and slowly placed Bai Qian's white silk ribbon on the soul-binding lamp, staring at it intently, without daring to blink. It was azure flames. Azure flames! The Hua finally confirmed all his doubts. It was her! It was Su. So Bai Qian was Su. The Hua calmly extinguished the soul-binding lamp that had burned for 300 years. Lian Song, seeing this, was puzzled. The Hua excitedly told Lian Song that the soul-binding lamp had burned for 300 years because Susu hadn't died, but had forgotten him. And Susu was none other than Bai Qian, the high goddess of Qingqiu. This news left Lian Song completely bewildered. Regardless of the truth, Lian Song sighed. "If I had known that mortal was your true wife, Bai Qian, why bother with all this trouble? It would have been so much better to marry her sooner so that the whole world could celebrate." Bai Qian went to Bai Zhen's residence to deliver peach blossom wine. But to her surprise, Bai Qian wasn't there. Only her second brother, Bai Qian, was there with a dark expression. Her second brother asked Bai Qian where Fengju was, and Bai Qian, feeling sorry for her niece, had no choice but to cover for Fengju. Bai Qian finally returned to Qingqiu. Thinking about the exciting things that happened on her trip to the ECC, she was quite tired. Just as Bai Qian was about to go into the fox den to rest, she saw a little green ball of fluff hopping and skipping out of the fox den. Mi Jiju was chasing after it, afraid that the little one would fall. In the blink of an eye, the little one pounced on Bai Qian's lap, calling out, "Mother! Mother! You clearly said that you would go back to the heavenly palace with A Li and father. How could you go back on your word?" Seeing Bai Qian's bewildered look, Mi Jiu could only tell his aunt that the little grandson and the Hua would probably be staying at their fox den for a while. The crown prince had some matters to attend to in the heavenly palace, so he sent the little grandson first. His aunt and the Hua were already engaged, and the heavenly emperor had done something similar for the heavenly empress before, so this was not unusual. Bai Qian had no choice but to take A Li and Miju to the mushroom market to buy food. The people of Qingqiu were very curious when they saw their aunt leading a little baby. Someone asked Bai Qian when she had a little prince. Bai Qian looked up and sighed. It was yesterday. The emperor saw Fengju and, knowing she had just recovered from a serious illness, ordered that she'll be chosen to serve him that night. Fengju, surprised that her chance to repay his kindness had come so quickly, was flustered and at a loss. That night, she dressed herself up and waited for the eunuch to fetch her to serve him. But instead, she was met by the palace concubines, who declared the flower on her forehead and denied her the chance to serve him. Confined to her room, Fengju was truly distressed. She secretly used magic to enter the emperor's palace, wanting to see what he desired after becoming immortal. Fengju entered the emperor's dream and saw him heartbroken. She asked him if he had any wishes in this life. The emperor said he didn't want the throne or beautiful women, only a sincere heart. Hearing this, Fengju felt a strange pang of heartache.
Bai Qian was picking out loquats with A Li at the market when the Hua suddenly appeared beside her.
The Hua frowned and asked, "A Li is growing. He can't just eat this." Bai Qian had never raised a child before, so she didn't know that this little fairy was different from them. The Hua smiled helplessly and naturally took Bai Qian's hand to find some vegetables and meat. This scene was very similar to the Hua and Susu at the foot of Zhenji Mountain. The Hua and the others returned to the fox cave from Mushroom Village. Bai Qian sent Mi Jiu to cook, and the Hua chatted with Bai Qian, saying that Qingqiu was originally a celestial realm, but Bai Qian had managed it like a mortal world. Bai Qian smiled slightly, adopting her queenly demeanor, and said that using magic for everything would be boring. She added that in a few days, she wanted to prepare a battlefield for everyone to practice on. The Hua found Bai Qian's serious expression extremely cute and jokingly added that he would definitely send some celestial soldiers to help her.
Magoo is a tree spirit and is naturally afraid of fire.
Besides, Fengju always cooked for her, so she doesn't know how to cook at all.
Little Ali kept pestering Bai Qian, saying he was hungry.
Bai Qian couldn't just let Ali eat loquats in front of the Hua. Going to the mortal realm to bring Fengju back was probably too late. Bai Qian had no choice but to bite the bullet and send Magoo to post notices outside the fox den looking for a cook. The Hua, seeing Bai Qian like this, remembered that Susu on Zhenji Mountain also couldn't cook at all. He was surprised that Bai Qian, now a high goddess, still hadn't improved her culinary skills. The Hua couldn't help but wonder how Bai Qian, before meeting him, had managed to survive on Zhenji Mountain as a mortal. The Hua asked Bai Qian to add firewood while he cooked. To ease the awkwardness, Bai Qian casually remarked to the Hua that his late wife had excellent cooking skills and had taken such good care of him. The Hua was taken aback and looked sad. Bai Qian felt bad for touching on his sore spot. The Hua replied calmly that she and Bai Qian were the same. She could only add firewood and water while he cooked and couldn't do anything else. At the dinner table, The Hua told Ali to eat more so when he really turned into a dumpling and went back to the heavenly palace. He wouldn't need to fly on the clouds anymore. He could just roll into Ali's Qingqiu palace. Ali hurriedly went to Bai Qian to beg for help. Since recognizing his mother, Ali could finally act like a child, acting cute, crying, laughing, and playing. His rosy little face really made Bai Qian feel that she and this child were becoming more and more connected. Bai Qian and the Hua coaxed Ali to sleep, and the Hua, in high spirits, called Bai Qian to play chess.
Bai Qian fell asleep while playing, and when she woke up, she found Jia Yun and Siwen Xingguan standing in front of her beside the crown prince.
Siwen Xingguan told Bai Qian that the crown prince had decided to work in the fox cave for the time being and that he would come every morning to deliver the memorials, which the Hua would then take back to heaven after reviewing them. Although Bai Qian smiled, she was extremely unwilling. Now that even official documents were being brought to the fox cave, Bai Qian was truly worried that the Hua wouldn't stay there permanently. After meeting Defang in the East Sea, the 16th disciple Lan returned to Kunlun ruins. Lan was determined to return since his master had instructed him to wait for him. No matter how many years passed, Kunlun ruins could not be abandoned. Defang continued his search for Saiyan and his master's immortal body.
All the disciples made a vow to protect Kunlun ruins and wait for their master's return.
Su Jin, upon learning that the Hua was going to stay in Qingqiu with Bai Qian and had even taken the memorial to the fox den, was extremely resentful. She devised a plan to teach Bai Qian the rules of the heavenly palace, and even plotted to have Bai Qian voluntarily annul the engagement. Miao Qing entered the Shiwu palace, and Su Jin feigned intimacy with him. Miao Qing then told Su Jin about seeing the Hua and Bai Qian in the East Sea. Xinnu, under Su Jin's orders, went to Qingqiu. But not only was she unable to see Bai Qian, she was also driven out by everyone. The Hua had been staying in Qingqiu for several days. And not only that, he also ordered memorials to be sent there. During the day, the Hua handled official business in the fox den, while Bai Qian would sit nearby, eating melon seeds and dozing off. At night, the Hua would pull Bai Qian to play chess. But Bai Qian, who was not good at chess, would always fall asleep during the game. Bai Qian nervously told the Hua that the other day Miju went outside the cave and encountered a fairy maidservant from Su Jin's side. The maidservant was not only arrogant, but also slandered Bai Qian, saying that she hadn't even officially married the Hua yet, and that it was unreasonable for her to monopolize him all day. Even a high god shouldn't act like that. Bai Qian felt that the Hua staying in the fox den all day was indeed a bit unreasonable. Bai Qian hesitated and said so much, but the Hua only replied with one sentence. After all, you, Bai Qian, are my wife. I've come to the fox cave to live with you, so why should others gossip?
Bai Qian was quite pleased with these words.
The Hua told Bai Qian to lie down, and then he prepared ink and brushes, intending to paint a sketch of her. Bai Qian happily complied, but unexpectedly fell asleep while painting. The Hua gently draped his clothes over her, his eyes fixed on her, unwilling to leave her for even a moment. Upon hearing Xinnu's report, Su Jin was furious. At the Heavenly Emperor's birthday banquet, the North Sea Lord brought his eldest son, Yuan Zuan, to the Heavenly Palace to congratulate the Heavenly Emperor. After learning this, Su Jin devised another plan.
The Hua was taking Bai Qian and Ali to the mortal realm.
A Li was having so much fun that he forgot all about home. The Hua secretly told Bai Qian that it was Ali's birthday. Bai Qian playfully scolded the Hua for not telling her sooner, as she hadn't prepared a gift for Ali. The Hua teased Bai Qian, asking what gift she should prepare a luminous pearl. Everyone said that Bai Qian, the immortal, loved giving luminous pearls as gifts. Younger immortals received small pearls, and older immortals received large pearls. Bai Qian realized the Hua was mocking her and quickly defended herself, saying that she had kept a half-person high luminous pearl in the fox den, which she placed in Ali's palacete, was always fun. The Hua was urgently summoned back to the Heavenly Palace for some business. Bai Qian took A Li to a tea house to listen to storytelling, and the mother and son decided to listen while waiting for the Hua to return. Dai Feng came to report to the Hua that the immortals who had attended the birthday banquet from the east sea had all encountered puppet attacks from the winged realm on their way back to their respective residencies or homes. However, the winged realm had already submitted to the heavenly clan, and according to common sense, they should not have taken such actions. This matter even puzzled the Hua. Thank you so much for watching with me today. If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next part. See you in the next video.